What is going on, Nuggets Nation NBA fans? My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome back to Nuggets Today, presented by Fan Arts. Obviously, we got some topics for you guys. And like I said, this is going to be an episode finally breaking down the past preseason game of the Clippers Nuggets 2 days ago now. But I saw a lot that I liked. There's some things I didn't like too much, but nothing really crazy. The first thing I want to talk about is just, the second unit. I love the second unit that they were able to run. I think that it was the first unit that they brought out. It wasn't necessarily the rotation. That's something I'm going to talk about next episode. But the first unit that they rolled out, which I think will be the first really 9, 10 guys that they're going to play in the season. And I think that's going to be the most realistic thing they have. So they staggered Tim Hardaway Jr. and Jamal. Tim Hardaway came in, I believe, with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. I could be a little bit wrong about the time, but I like the defensive versatility from that lineup. And then obviously after they staggered, they pulled some of the starters, and the lineup was Jamal, Tim Hardaway, Bruce, Watson, and Val. So you end up taking out AG, Cam, Brown, Jokic, and you throw Jamal back in with that second unit. Like I said, you stagger him and Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway came in the first, stayed out there for the second, and Jamal came back in for the second unit because he got his rest already, which, like I said, I like it. I think that there's a lot of defensive versatility. It's a little bit smaller, which, obviously it bothers me. I think that I feel that way about the starting five too. Not that they're tiny, but a guy like AG at the power forward against certain teams may not work out phenomenally, and that's something I'll get to next episode as well. But, Watson at the four, I think that I've said multiple times Watson is more of a three to me. But I like that their 1 through 4 can guard the 1, 2, 3, and 4 realistically. Valanciunas is obviously out there as center, big body. Nobody can really stop him. I mean, the guy's any shot that's going up, I feel like he's going to get the board as long as he's anywhere in the vicinity of the ball. And on offense, he looks great. You're able to post people up. You're hitting fadeaway jumpers. You're playing like a point center at the top of the key when you have a guy like, Timmy giving you the ball up there and you're running a little bit of a screen and roll, or you're giving it to the high post and backdoor cutting. I think that Val fits that lineup perfectly. And I think that, like I said, I like Jamal being out there with the second unit just because he plays so efficiently and so fluidly and fits that lineup with them. And then next episode, I'm going to get into some more of the guys on the bench. But there's one guy right now I specifically want to cover, and that is Peyton Watson. Now, what's there not to like about Peyton Watson right now? We needed somebody to come and take that ball handling role, and I know it's a lot of preseason, so there's nothing really to fully base it on just because people might not try as hard, but I feel like the Clippers were trying because they wanted to get their get back, and that's another thing I'll get into later in this episode, but they might have been a little petty for that playoff run, so they had their starters out there. They had their second unit out there as well, but P-Watt looks good. I mean, that guy does everything that you're asking of him, and I think that when the time comes, it makes me a little nervous because they do have to extend him, and with the Brown extension coming up potentially, he's going to want a good amount of money, and I hope that he takes a little bit of a break for off his salary. And as selfishly as it sounds, I guess for me, I hope that he asked for a little bit less money in order to stay with Denver just because I think he fits them so well. But, like I said, giving him the ball on offense, he just looks like he's playing with such a fluid fluid motion. He's able to shoot the ball. He's making the right plays for the most part. Sure, he had one bad pass here and there where he thought he could dart the pass in and it didn't work out, but his jump shot looks fluid. It looks perfect. It's one motion finally. Again, no hitch. I'm big on the hitch and the jump shot, like I said, with Christian Brown, but he's handling the ball very well. He's becoming more of a point forward. A lengthy body like that. Like I said, Usman Dang, little KD-esque. He's not Kevin Durant, not moving exactly like KD, where he's him pull up jumpers, but he was finishing around the rim when you asked it of him. He had that, I think it was a screen and roll with Val. Val came down and cut, and his pass led to a beautiful Val dunk. So, like I said, Watson is doing everything you need him to do for a bench unit guy. He's going to come in during the games now, from what it looks like, and he's really going to dominate with that second unit. I think that his playmaking looks good. I think that his shooting looks a lot better. I think that his finishing around the rim looks better. I think that he may have to be more careful with the ball and have a stronger grip when it comes to fast breaks and finishing. There's one specific play where he got the ball on a fast break, almost tried to grab it, sort of slipped up a little bit, but he retained possession, which is nice. So I think that there are certain things that he has to work on still, but everything that we've asked of him this offseason as fans, and I'm sure as an organization, he has achieved. So he looks great, and I think that he's going to be a big part of this Denver team, especially coming off the bench and potentially starting certain games. So One thing I talked about was the playmaking, though, and one thing I want to talk about with the Denver Nuggets is that I think the playmaking looks a lot better. I think that there's a lot more ball movement. Last year, and I was talking about it in the offseason, Jamal sort of held the ball too long, in my opinion, in certain possessions where he would just let the possession, fade out until there's 2 seconds left and you're throwing up a bad shot. I think that Denver was shooting a lot quicker than we've ever seen them. It was almost just like, pass to Jokic, pass out to AG, pass to CB in the corner, and he's letting it fly right away. We didn't see a lot of that from Denver. I think Denver tried to attack the rim so much, and I think that has a lot to do with his coaching staff. I believe that JJ Barea and Jared Dudley are just telling them, let it fly, because why not? What are you guys waiting for? These are two guys who are in the NBA too. The change of pace is so different now in the NBA than it was when they were playing, and I think they're seeing that as coaches. You got to understand that people are getting the ball and they are letting the ball fly. Every team in the NBA. When you're bottom half in the NBA in three-point attempts or three-point makes, you're probably in a bad position strictly because teams like the Rockets, teams like the Thunder, teams like the Warriors, those guys are just shooting the ball. They're gonna. With KD out there, with Şengün extending the floor, with Jabari Smith on the Rockets, a team like the Warriors, Jimmy, Draymond maybe not as much, but Pods, Moody, Curry, and then obviously the Thunder. The Thunder have everybody. Caruso's taking threes from the corner. Dort's taking threes. Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren. The only guy in their starting five that doesn't take threes is Isaiah Hartenstein. So I think that the tempo and the playmaking that Denver is playing with right now, if that's what they bring into the season, I'm super happy. I think that it's going to work out amazingly if everybody can hit their shots. I think if AG can hit at such a consistent rate, if CB can be the 3-and-D wing that Denver's needed since a year or two ago since KCP left, I think that it's going to work out phenomenally. I think it does, and I think that the bench unit is helping with that as well. I think that I'm going to talk about that more tomorrow, the rotation and everything, but maybe you need to see Tim Hardaway hit more shots. And like I said, I'm going to talk about that in tomorrow's episode, so I'm not going to break that right now. But the last thing I want to talk about is obviously the opponent, and the Clippers are up there for me. I think they're a top-tier team in my power rankings for the Western Conference. I just think that they're such a good unit. Derrick Jones Jr. is probably going to start for them right now. It looks like that, at least. And then if that happens, you're potentially moving either John Collins or Bradley Beal to the bench, and I think that works out awesome. I'm fine with that because at the same time, you have Kawhi that could play the 4. You have John Collins that could play the 4. So if you want to throw Derrick Jones Jr. at the 2, you're in a better position than most teams in the Western Conference. Sure, they're old, and I know everybody wants to break that down, but Brook Lopez looked like the best three-point shooting center I think I've ever seen. He was shooting from Steph Curry range. He was letting everything fly. He's hitting fadeaway jumpers while he's getting fouled. He is going to be a problem off the bench for them, and I also think that they could stagger the bigs. Denver did it a little bit, and I think that they have the opportunity to do it. They're a little bit slower. I know that Brook's a little older, but they both are great at the rim defensively. And if you guys if the Clippers have a fast enough, backcourt and small forward playing in a zone, you guys are they're in a great position because you have a guy like Kawhi, Harden, and even Derrick Jones Jr. who could make up that ground, and you have a bigger body like Brook or Zubac closing out, and there you go. It ends up in a rebound. You still have guys like Batum, but I also think the change of pace in their centers is awesome, or the change of game style rather, with Zubac being a lob threat who's just going to body people down low, and Brook being somebody that could body people down low but also extend the floor the way that he was doing last night. Him and James Harden could be a problem together. Let me tell you, I don't think that. Embiid's the only guy that we've ever seen with Harden. I feel like that could shoot as well as Brook Lopez, but I think Brook is a better shooter. So, listen, I think they could be a problem. Brook Lopez looks like a phenomenal player. I think that John Collins actually fits that rotation. I tweeted about it. I think that Collins fits that team. I know defensively he lacks his, the certain abilities. He's not the best shooter in the world, but something about his mid-range game, something about him extending the floor from the power forward position. I don't know. I like him on the team, especially with a guy like Kawhi. He's just a natural scorer. He's athletic, and I think he works with them. But that's all I got for you guys today, Nuggets Nation. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.